that? Well, we're going to talk about Bernini. Now, one of the things that we have learned from Bernini is the best way to keep our floors clean inside the house is to not let the dirt in the first place and stop it at the door. And now, with the Bernini Aqua-Terra mat, this is the new and improved dirt trapping mat with the honeycomb triple layer mesh that literally scrapes the dirt off of your feet. And also now, it is going to hold water if you want it to with the new pluggable drainage holes. We're going to show you all of that in just a moment. Now, on their Bernini website, this is about a $55 value. Right now, we're at $39.98. It's also anti-fatigue, so it feels good. And now, because of the drainage holes, you are going to be able to use it really easily in the kitchen or anywhere else that you want to put this, but for sure in the front door, in the back door, even in the garage. So here are your color choices. This one that I'm standing on right here is called our multicolor floral. Christopher Joyce is in the background. Hi, Chris. Here is your hummingbirds that I'm standing on. Butterfly, look how gorgeous that blue butterfly is. And then over here we have our neutrals, our brown leaf and the gray leaf right here. All right, Chris, I'm coming on over to you.
I love it. Here, I'm going to give you this because this is how much dirt one of these 2x3 mats will hold.
Is it 11 pounds?
Exactly. So John Yeiser was tasked with creating the best doormat, and I think he knocked it out of the park, particularly because this is Gen 2.0. So first of all, you talked about this. It almost has an anti-fatigue quality to it when you step on it or feel it. Even the doggies are going to appreciate it. It has an anti-fatigue, almost like that gel mat, because it's squishy, all right? So you can see my fingers kind of getting in there. And that's because it uses something called triple honeycomb mesh. That's the Aqua-Terra that allows the dirt to drop to the bottom of the mat. That's why when you mat every door, you're not going to get the dirt because every single time you walk across the mat, the dirt drops to the bottom. And then when you walk across the mat, you're walking across a clean mat. Then it's a non-skid backing, and what makes it Gen 2.0 is the fact that you have these plugs that can be placed in the drainage holes, which are important when it's outside that they drain. But what's inside, if you have water, you don't want the water to get on your floor. So those drain holes are going to ensure that the water is not going to transfer to the floor.
Correct. That before we didn't have those plugs. So before it was really just for outdoors, if anything.
Exactly.
And look at this.
And what I love is the fact that all the dirt that I'm dumping on this mat is actually dropping to the bottom of the mat. Why is that crucial? Because then you have a clean mat every single time you walk across. Now, here's the deal. When you walk across the mat with a dirty shoe, so here I have some dirt on the bottom of this sneaker, you're just going to walk across just like you would, and look at that. All the dirt is gone. Now you're like, where did that dirt go? Well, it is not sitting on top of the mat, and to prove that it's fallen to the bottom of the mat, I'm going to use the white glove test. Look at this. There is no dirt on that white cloth, letting you know that the dirt has truly fallen to the bottom of the mat.
And then once this is, for example, filled with 11 pounds of dirt, which is a lot, what do we do to clean it?
It's so easy. Come over here, I'll show you. You can use a hose, or I think the easiest way, and remember, it's holding 11 pounds of dirt. Watch this. You look at this mat, it looks perfectly clean because it is. The dirt has dropped to the bottom of the mat. But what this dirt is hiding in that triple honeycomb mesh is all the dirt that it's captured. And watch this. Just give it a good shake, and all the dirt that was in the bottom of the mat will now be released. And then again, you can just use the mat over and over and over again. So here's the key. This dirt that was typically on your floors or brought into the house, this is what is ruining your hardwood floors, even your carpets. And a typical doormat, which, by the way, look at this.
You're kidding.
That's the size of your typical doormat. Ours is truly oversized. And then also the problem with a typical doormat is, what are we seeing here? The dirt just sits on top of the mat. So that means every single time I walk across this mat, I'm transferring the dirt from the mat
onto my shoe,
onto the shoe, into the house, unlike our mat, which is not transferring anything because the dirt has fallen to the bottom of the mat, so you have a perfectly clean mat every single time.
It's 2 feet by 3 feet, by the way, to see how the size, which is a really great size to cover the front door.
Exactly, and if you have a double door, get two. Look at how it just kind of elevates the feel of that door. So not only, Rosina, is it truly functional, which is the most important thing about a doormat, but also these are so beautiful, they really kind of elevate any door. And again, the most important cleaning secret I can give you is to mat every single door. And that ensures that you're not bringing the dirt into the house.
Correct.
And then you'll have to clean less, hopefully.
And mat the front door on the outside, but also mat the doors
on the inside.
For sure. And then that garage door.
I was just going to say the garage door.
We always forget about that one, right? And I feel like we use that one the most, and that one should be matted too, so that you make sure you get the dirt everywhere.
So you just see what's happening here? Whether it's the water in the doggy bowl that's being dumped onto the mat. Remember, if you put those plugs in, the water's not going to transfer through the drainage holes. And then for the kitty cats, all that kitty litter that they tend to throw out, what is it doing? It's falling to the bottom of the mat. So rather than having kitty litter all over the kitchen or the mudroom, now you're ensuring that all that kitty litter is dropping to the bottom of the mat. Genius,
I love
right?
that. It's genius. And for the water bowls, because of that plugged bottom,
Yeah.
if you choose, that's going to hold the water until you're able to go and throw it out. And another thing, that great rubber backing, and it's great. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Exactly, yeah. So we'll talk about it right now. So your typical doormat just blows away in the wind. But ours, because it is a nice weight to it, and it also has that nice rubber non-stick backing. You can see that one blowing away, no problem. This one is not going anywhere during a rainstorm or a windstorm.
Yep, and that I've had mats flying across the neighborhood. So you're going to choose the watercolor floral, and they have the brand new scalloped edges as well. Watercolor floral right here. This one is called hummingbirds. How beautiful. We also have our blue butterfly, and then over here the more neutral ones. This is called brown leaf. And the one I'm standing on right here is called gray leaf. So elevate the look of your doorstep, but also make sure you keep the dirt out of your house.
Exactly.
There you go.
Love it. And honestly, the cats and the dogs, unlike most doormats, are going to love it. And it really traps the water as long as you put those plugs in. That's the brand new part of Generation 2.0 of these mats.
And if you don't, if it's outside, you take the drainage plugs out and make sure that the water drains right out. Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, so $39.98 for your Aqua-Terra mat. This is about a $55 value on their website, so take advantage. Summer is right around the corner. All right, so earlier